This is the old Columbia logo. Now the new one looks more like Annette Bening, if you'll notice. I think they might have actually used some pictures of her to get the new logo. The original name of this movie was called The Body, which was based on a novella from a collection of short stories called Different Seasons by Stephen King, and we renamed it Stand By Me. And you'll hear the strains of the music Stand By Me right here at the beginning. And we had decided on the music Stand By Me before we came up with the title. This music was always intended to be in the film, and then the title came from that. Here we see Richard Dreyfuss, and initially we shot this sequence with a different actor named David Duke, and he was very good in the part, but as you'll see, that the majority of what this role is about narration and voiceover, and David just didn't have the right kind of voice for this, and I actually revoiced the voiceover with many actors. I tried Michael McKean, Ted Bessel, a number of actors, and then Rick Dreyfuss came in, who's an old friend of mine. We went to high school together. And when he did the voiceover, it just clicked and was perfect. And then I asked him if he would agree to reshoot the opening sequence, and he agreed to do that. Here's Will Wheaton, who plays Gordy. And I think that of all four of the actors that we had, we probably found the only actors who could have done these parts. Of all the people that auditioned, these were the only ones that we could find that really were right for these parts. Will had an intelligence and a sensitivity that was perfect for this part. And you'll see the other actors as well were also totally suited for what they did. The music in the film, Rockin' Robin here, and all the music were all my favorites during the 50s, so I picked a lot of the songs that were my favorites, and this one, related to Rocked in the Treetops, and here they are playing in their treehouse.
Cans are empty and your dog's pregnant.
Didn't I just say I was French?
I knock.
Will Wheaton, as I said, and here we have River Phoenix, who was great in this part. There's an interesting story to be told about him at the end of the film, which I'll mention when we get to it.
Come on, man, deal.
Of course, Corey Feldman was the only one who came into,
He didn't have much of a chance.
as Rick says, the craziest guy we hung around. He was the only one that had the anger at age 12 and going on 13 when we made this film. He was the only one that came in that had the rage and the anger to be able to play this part.
Pilot shit has 1,000 eyes. What? What's so funny? Come on, I got 30. What have you got?
16.
Go ahead, keep laughing. You're down to your ride, pal.
Chris Chambers was the leader of our gang and my best friend. He came from a bad family, and everyone just knew he'd turn out bad, including Chris.
Now here they're smoking cigarettes, and just want to let everybody know, because I'm the one that everybody talks about who raised cigarette taxes. This was not real cigarettes. These were lettuce leaves that they used, and it's not real tobacco.
Oh, man. Wait to hear this. Wait to hear this.
Here's Jerry O'Connell, who, when he came to audition for the part, had never acted before in his life, had only done one commercial. And after he finished his performance in the audition, he walked out and came back and he says, "Hey, aren't you the guy on Channel 5? The All in the Family reruns were playing in New York City." And that's what he knew me as, the guy on Channel 5. And he was so natural that I said he had to do the part. That plus he recognized me in All in the Family.
I mean, if you told your folks were going to tent out my backfield? Yeah, I think so. Except my dad's kind of on a mean streak. He's been drinking a lot lately. You got you, man. Sincerely, you won't believe this. Can you, Gordy? Yeah, probably.
So what are you pissing and moaning about, Verno?
I knock.
What? You liar, you ain't got no pad hand. You didn't deal yourself no pad hand.
Make your draw, shit heap. You guys want to go see a dead body? Well, I was under the porch digging,
We all understood what Vern meant right away. At the beginning of the school year, he had buried a quart jar of...
This sequence here was one of the funniest, where Vern is trying to find the pennies that he buried and couldn't figure out where they were. And this was a big lighting problem because it was very dark underneath this house. We had built it on a soundstage, and we wanted to sell the idea of all these holes that he had dug up, but at the same time make it natural. So it was probably a little bit overlit, but we had to sell the joke.
The kid's dead, so it ain't nothing to him neither. And who gives a shit if they ever find him? I don't.
But it's that kid they were talking about on the radio. Brocker, or Brower, or Flowers, whatever his name is. The train must have hit him.
Big fucking deal.
We had all followed the Ray Brower story very closely because he was a kid our age. 3 days.
The screenplay, which got nominated for an Academy Award, was written, adapted by Bruce Evans and Ray Gideon, but it was very faithfully taken from the novella by Stephen King, and a lot of the dialogue was taken right out of the novella. The thing that I did with the film was to refocus the picture onto Gordy and make it Gordy's story. In the short story, he was mostly an observer, just a kind of arm's length observer. But when we restructured the film, I felt that he was the one that should be focused in on, and it was a way for me to play out my own feelings about feeling disconnected with my parents and getting strength from my friends and finding that strength that allowed me to feel good about myself.
Sure. You must have started walking on the train tracks and just followed them the whole way.
Yeah, right. And then after dark, train must have come along and I'll smacko.
Yeah. Hey, you guys. I bet you anything that if we find him, we'll get our pictures in the paper.
Yeah, we can even be on TV.
Sure.
We'll be heroes.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, the interesting thing about Stand By Me is that it's a coming-of-age story for young boys, 12 going on 13, when in that really critical time in their lives. But in a weird way, it was a coming-of-age for me as a person, because it was the first time in my life that I started feeling good about myself and feeling good that I was doing the kinds of things that I felt I was capable of doing in show business, having been an extension of my father and doing similar work to the kind of work my father had done. Stand By Me was the first film that I made that I felt was truly reflective of my personality, an extension of my personality, and the fact that it was accepted ultimately made me feel very good about myself and sent me in a direction that I have gone since then, and I've made my choices much more connected to who I am than like I say, being an extension of my father.
Come on, Bruno. Too cool. Very cool, very cool, yes.
I wanted to share my friend's enthusiasm, but I couldn't. That summer at home, I had become the invisible boy.
Mom, you know what my canteen is? Mom.
These feelings of being not seen by the parents was feelings that I've had in my life growing up, and that's why I say this was much of a coming of age for me as it was for the young boys in the film. And what Gordy is going through and feeling that he's not being recognized by his parents here because they're going through difficult times are feelings that I have felt myself, and I very much related to Gordy's character, and it was what allowed me to be able to tell the film in as personal a way as I did.
Hey, Gordy, I got something for you.
This, my friend.
I was very lucky to get John Cusack to play this part. He had made a film with me called The Sure Thing, and I had become good friends with him, and he's a wonderful actor, and this is a small part, but I needed somebody to make a big impression in a small part, because this is the guy that little Gordy looked up to, his big brother, and so to get somebody like John was really special, because he made a real good impression in a short time on screen. And this, of course, is Marshall Bell, who played his father and did a great job.
Sure they are. A thief and two thieves.
Chris isn't a thief.
He stole the milk money at school. He's a thief in my book.
Marshall's very subdued in this film, but in real life he's an insane person, and don't let him tell you otherwise.
It was almost noon as we set out to find the body of a dead kid named Ray Brower.
Right here's cool.
I don't usually talk about technical things, but this is a very long lens that we used on that previous shot, and we used it a couple of times in places in the film that were kind of effective. It kind of gives this kind of gauzy, distancy kind of feel for a nostalgic piece.
Come on, man, what is it? Come on, what is it? You want to be the Lone Ranger or the Cisco Kid? Walking, talking, Jesus. Where'd you get this? Hocked it from my old man's bureau. It's 45. I can see that. You got shells for it? Yeah. I took all that was left in the box. My dad'll think that he used them himself shooting at beer cans while he was drunk. Is it loaded? Hell no. What do you think I am? Jesus! Let's get out of here! Come on! Gordy did it! Gordy, let's get this! Shut up!
Hey, who did that? Who's letting cherry bombs off out here?
This lady's named Madeline Swift, and she was my assistant in the early 80s. It's interesting. You watch a film like this, and it really is like home movies for me. It brings back all kinds of memories, and you think more about the things that happened to you during the making of the film than you do about the actual film itself.
I didn't know it was loaded. Honest. You swear? Yeah, I swear. On your mother's name? Yeah. Even if she goes to hell because you lied? Yeah, I swear. Pinky swear. Pinky swear.
Pinky swear was a thing that I used to do as a kid, and a lot of the little things that happen in this film, the little, rank outs of the mother and two for flinching and pinky swear, all these are things that I used to do as a kid. This takes place in '59 when Gordy is 12 and I was 12 in 1959.
Your brother's not very polite, Eyeball.
Now, Christopher, I know you didn't mean to insult.
Of course, here's Kiefer Sutherland, and he was brilliant in this part. He's a wonderful actor, and I think it was one of the best things he's done. He was, I think, 17 years old, or 17 or 18 when we made this film.
Take it back.
Oh, come on, man, stop it. You're hurting him. Bastard, let's go, man. Stop it, man.
Take it back,
cut it out.
kid.
Oh, cut it out.
Take it back.
Okay, I take it back. I take it back.
There. I feel a whole lot better about this. How about you? Good. See you later, girls.
Come on, just forget him.
Now here comes a little move that I used to do to my friends all the time. I stuck in, watch his leg, kick him in the ass. Used to do that all the time with my friends.
Well, what do we need a pistol for anyway? Spooky sleeping out at night in the woods. We might see a bear. Or a garbage can. I brought a comb. What do we need a comb for? Well, if we get on TV, we want to look good, don't we? It's a lot of thinking, Vern. Thanks.
Two for flinching.
There's that 2 for flinching I was talking about.
How far do you think it's gonna be?
If we follow the tracks all the way into Harlow, it should be about 20 miles. Sound about right to you, Gordy? Yeah, it might even be 30. Gee, maybe we should just hitchhike.
There's no way that sucks.
Why not? We could go out to Route 7 to the Shiloh Church, then down the back Harlow Road,